There we go. I had to redo this twice because I like to hear the camera make the little noise. I'm neurotic like that. I'm like, okay, is it recording? Like when I made the mistake years ago of instead of just doing a local recording like this, I attempted to do Instagram Live. And I'd never gone live before, so I didn't realize that you had to press the button. I mean, now it's obvious that you hit the go live button in the app, and then it counts down and it says you're now live. We're telling your followers. At the time, I guess I didn't know that, but it's really super obvious now if you were to do it, if I was to do it. And I'm walking without my cane, so I don't have my only form of defense. I don't have my sympathy getter. But I had to get out of the house today, and I had a lovely evening. I came out prepared to go, left a little bit later because I was talking to one of my neighbors on the way about the weather and how our landlords, because we have different landlords, may or may not be screwing us over, and how I was supposed to have been in Clearfield by now, and how Roy is just, at least this part of Roy, the snooty part across the tracks past the high school, they're not experiencing heavy roadwork construction like we have, seemingly endless. First 5600, now what is this street, 1900, 1700. This street's 6000, so the construction literally starts here at the end or the start, whichever you want to look at it, 6000 into Main Street. And that Main Street is 1900. Of course, I can't zoom in while wearing these gloves. Anyway, let us be off. Let us go. Now, one of the main reasons why I'm going out tonight is because but in Clearfield, it's supposed to be foggy, like proper Silent Hill foggy. And it's the warning, there's a dense fog warning on the weather thing. I'm not seeing any fucking fog out here. It looks fine. I want to film it looking like Silent Hill and creepy and spooky. I know it's not Halloween season, but it can still be spooky. So, I want to do that. And, because I left early enough, I think it's only barely 11, or it's like late 10. So I left with plenty of time. So I can still get home by a decent hour, shower, and go to bed. I already brushed my teeth. and be up by like, I always think be up by 4, because on Saturdays, Petticoat Junction comes on at 4 and ends at 5, because there's like 2 episodes. And that's how I know it's the weekend. I'm like, oh, it's Petticoat Junction. I don't really watch it. I just have it on in the background. But I do, like, I'll turn up the volume when the cartoon hour starts, because I'm such a normal fucking person. I don't watch the news. I don't watch, like, health advice shows, people. I watch cartoons. Honestly, you know, more power. If you're like me and you do, more power. The news is depressing. It's fucking depressing. Of course, the latest news, I talked about 2 girls getting shot in Ogden. And I already said it, I'm going to say it again. They were driving around, a guy in a van, I think it was a white van, they said, was following them. They pulled over and asked him, hey, why are you following us? And he fires at him. I think that one or both of them were shot, taken to the hospital, they're fine. I mean, obviously, aside from, like, you know, bodily harm, you know, bullet wounds or grazings. The shooter, from what I've read on the Facebook groups, because, and I'll mention this next part in a minute, abandoned his van in Roy. And like I said, I've already said this, I'm just stating again for emphasis for a point I'm trying to make. He abandoned his van in Roy, near where the water tower. I don't live near the water tower, but I still live in Roy. And this is happening right around Thanksgiving. I can't remember if it was the day of, the day after, like Black Friday. But now, like in Clinton, the day before, there was a shooting, and 2 guys died as a result. Now, what I'm saying about this situation, the news has not even reported on it. When I thought I found an article about it, it was actually about the guys in Clinton. No one has picked up the story and talked about this guy in Ogden following. I mean, even the story about the guys in Clinton getting shot and killed, that was covered on the live news. It's covered in the digital news. It's been well over a week now. No one's even talked about the Ogden shooting. 2 girls getting shot. The guy, you know, dumping his van off in Roy, running around. There was a armed manhunt. Cops from several bordering cities came in, barricaded the area, or blockaded, like mini martial law, checking people. I heard people in the group were saying, yeah, my husband and son just came home. They ID'd, questioned both of them. They had K9 units, drones, a helicopter, and the news wasn't covering it? Seriously? So I don't know. Maybe I have to cover it and do my own article about it, because the news has once again failed. So I'm guessing it might be a political thing where a type of person or resident committed a crime, and that makes the local government and maybe the state government look bad. And that's why everything's hush-hush. I mean, people kept bringing police scanners. I don't know why those were being involved, because people knew about The 2 Clinton guys getting shot and killed the day of. That was already old news by the time. I mean, it was only old by like a day, but people knew about it. And it was reported on in a more or less timely manner. No one has reported on these 2 girls in Ogden getting shot by this guy in a van. Was it attempted trafficking? Was it a cartel thing? Was it a gang thing? I have no clue. I have no clue. And with nobody talking about it, like no one in the news or media talking about, how the fuck are we supposed to know? Supposedly people in the group said, yeah, they caught him. Okay, why haven't the police released a statement? Roy PD has not released a statement, to my knowledge. I'm pretty sure it would have been shared in the groups that I followed if it had, because everybody was following those stories with fucking unpeeled eyes and ears, sitting on pins and needles, because we live here in Roy. We want to know when this shit's happening, you know. So no statement from Roy PD. None of the news channel stations, even the digital ones, have picked it up or talked about it. I would really like to get in touch with the girls involved and get their side of the story. If the news isn't going to pick up on it, maybe I should, because I've covered other things. I thought I was going to be early to that circle and fire. I had no idea that they'd been fighting the fire all day, all night. And that's why the restaurant is completely beyond salvaging. And there was a news van there. I don't know how many news stations covered it, though. I mean, it's Sunset. It's a forgettable, know-nothing fucking town in a forgettable fucking state. And that's not me trying to be hateful or mean. Anytime celebrities come to Utah, they never have anything positive to say. They never have anything to say. Or when they do have something to say, it's like something like the state is too homogenous. The state's too religious. That can literally be applied to so many different places in the U.S. Oh, fuck. That's smart. That's smart. Yeah, that's a hazard. I'm walking and I fucking literally slip off of it and there's no ice or anything. I just slip. I roll and slip. That chick's got her fucking phone out while she's driving. And she looked like Morphine Love Dion, or whatever her name is, from season 16 of Drag Race. Okay, I'm not trying to film people, but there's like a metric shit ton of fucking cars coming. I'm just trying to cross the street. So I can get into Clearfield. God, that fucking curb hurt my foot. Like, I was walking normally like, but it feels a lot better than it did when the gout was like first. Like, first had gout, I could barely walk on it. Like, definitely I could not do anything where my foot was like resting, you know. It needed to be like upright and not touching anything, not even socks. It just hurts so much, and it was that sensitive. It was like, ugh. It was like the most painful fucking feeling. I think another painful feeling, and it happened right in the middle of the night too. Another real painful feeling that happens at night is you get like a wake up from a Charlie horse or muscle leg cramp. I would get those all the time. I don't really think I have restless leg syndrome, because I think that's more of like that's a party bus. That's the type of bus my cousin's mom would get rides to and from Wendover in. And she claimed it was for her therapy group. To overcome drinking. Gambling was never a problem, but drinking. And it was like... I'll get into that in a minute. Yeah, I don't think I have restless leg syndrome. I think that's like something that affects a person all the time. But sometimes I guess I'll move my leg in my sleep, like I'm between awaking and sleeping, and move it or bend it in the wrong way, and I'll have this really painful, it's not just discomfort, it's pain, like this numbing pain that starts from like my heel, my ankle down to the back of my leg, my calf. And it's not sciatica, it's like a Charlie horse or muscle pull. And sometimes I had done it so badly that I'm walking around with a limp for 2 or 3 days. And it felt like a wrestler had put me in one of those submission moves, painful like heel holds, like the heel lock, ankle lock. Hurt like a bitch. That happens at night or while you're asleep. Because when I first knew I had gout, it was at night, in the middle of the night. I was asleep. I was sleeping with my that was weeks ago. I got it before Thanksgiving. It was like a week or two before Thanksgiving I got gout. Because my bed was facing a different direction against the wall, across from the wall when it happened. And I was sleeping on my back with my feet propped up on a pillow, and I felt like I woke up because my foot was hurting, and I was like, why is my foot hurting? And it just felt really like when I felt the blanket rub against it when I moved my foot, I was like, it's really sensitive. And then I was like, I must have gotten gout, because I had it once before a couple of years ago, and I looked it up, the symptoms and causes, and it says right there on the WebMD thing that it usually occurs on set in the middle during the night. Sure as shit, that's what happened. Looks like they're finally building the second set of apartments after it's been about nearly 4 years since those plans went up. So maybe they'll build both of them at the same time. I'm sure the developers want those gone. Oh, those are crude and ugly, and they don't fit in with our plans to have all these futuristic overpriced apartments. Anyway, that's how I knew I had gout. Apart from the fact, there's like one friend I had is like, well, I thought maybe it was a spider bite because he said nausea. Well, you can have nausea anytime. I did not wake up with nausea or headaches coupled with the foot pain, the gout. Or let me rephrase it, like those were not, like, they're mutually exclusive. The gout did not cause me to have headaches or nausea. I don't know what caused the nausea. Sometimes I think if I sleep too long or if I sleep facing the wrong way, I can get headaches, which will also give me nausea. I think the headaches are from these two remaining wisdom teeth that have decided to be complete total bastards to me lately. The nausea is really from anything. Could be hypoglycemia, could be hyperglycemia, could be sleeping wrong. I don't get them all the time though. Like, it's not like, oh my god, I need to eat, or I didn't eat soon enough, or you know. And it happens like randomly. Because some people, oh, diabetes. I'm like, well, I've asked my mom. I said, when you first learned you had diabetes, were these such and such the signs, symptoms that you had it? I asked her, went through it. And that was years ago. And I should get tested for diabetes again, have blood work done. And I will. But, I mean, the last time I went, which was a couple years ago, they said no, I didn't have it. Hopefully, if I have it, it's only pre-diabetes, because you can reverse it. I don't walk. I haven't been walking as much as I should because my fucking foot. And if it wasn't for that, I absolutely would have gone out. Maybe not all the way out here to Clearfield, but I still would have gone out. But I think the fact that I'm more, even that much more mobile, I get up, I move, I do things, than my mom did. When because she would move around the house and clean. That's literally nothing. I'm talking getting out, walking long distances. Yeah, I need to watch what I eat, do some more like physical things like push-ups, sit-ups. But the walking I do, that in itself is like so much more. The people I know who have diabetes either developed it as kids because like it was in their family and they got it early, like they were born with it, or as adults got it because they ate and drank too much. It's not really just the wrong things, it's too much of the wrong things. And never, you know, at first it's like, oh my god. And this is for everybody, myself included. There's people who are really good about their health and they will get checked out, get their blood tested, all that stuff, physicals, and they will keep on top of that. There's people who, like, you know, you have diabetes, or you have one of those things like diabetes where you have to keep on top of it and like test yourself every day. It's not really testing, you just have to check your blood sugar, your blood glucose or whatever. And there's people who are really good with that. There's people I know who started out really good with that and were like, you know, I have this thing, it sucks, but I'm going to do my best to make, you know, to keep it under control. Most people I know who developed that kind of just stopped. A few years in, they're just like, they just stopped doing it. And it really boggles my mind. I'm like, why? Anyway, I have no idea how I got onto that tangent. So about the party bus. My cousin Zaren's mom is a bit A bit foggy, a little bit. My cousin Zaren's mom, Leanne, and nobody will ever meet these people, so I don't care to use. I don't care if I use. They don't care if I use their names. Trust and believe. You're never gonna see them. You're never gonna meet them. They're out of your league. So anyway, my cousin's mom claimed. Now this is a claim not from me, but from her own kids. Zaren was the first one, like, my mom is like such a serious drunk. And I was like, you don't think she's an alcoholic? And he's like, well, I don't know if she's that bad. But like when the weekend rolls around, she's, And this is like around 2000, 2001. I'm trying to remember when she brought this therapist guy. She said that he was her group therapy coordinator, like the group therapist, doctor, whoever. I don't know what the fuck his name was. I was there visiting because I think this was like 2004 or 2005. Maybe it was 2005 or 2006, because I think Zaren, he could drive. And I think he could drive at that point. And he was either driving us somewhere, like see a movie or go to the mall or somewhere, or we're just gonna hang out. And him and his sisters were seeing, his brother and two sisters were seeing their mom off, because she was, I mean, we all knew, it's like, who the fuck goes to Wendover for therapy? It's expensive. Wendover's a shithole. There's people you can go to, even group sessions, and like, they lived in Clearfield. There's places right there. Davis Hospital. McCady Hospital, not like literally so many cheaper options. It's just like, well, the group sponsors this bus. I don't have to pay anything. I just have to attend. My attendance is payment. So we were just like, I mean, it really was like giving off the vibe that we didn't, that she's full of shit, because we really honestly believe she was full of shit. And it's not from a place of, haha, malevolence, like, oh, okay, whatever, bitch, you're lying. It's just like, we know she likes to drink because she's an adult, she can do it. Why is she so embarrassed about, the drinking? Is what we couldn't figure out. And, because she was like, how the fuck old was she? She had to have been in her 40s, at least. Because this was like 2000, I would say it was like 2006, maybe 2007. Because I think Zaren was old enough to drive. And, it was like, we didn't have a problem with her drinking, even though I have really bad experiences with people who drink. It never turns out well for me, because they like to project onto me, because I'm like I can be the best listener ever, the nicest person. I could sit there and not say a damn thing. And I know my videos kind of like would make you think the opposite, like, oh, he loves to talk, he loves to hear himself talk. But no, really, like, if you're my friend, or you're just a neighbor or acquaintance or whatever, and you need someone to listen, I can be that person. I have been that person many, many times. The thing is, the people like to drink, they don't moderate it, they go crazy, they say mean, hurtful things. They do mean hurtful things. So anyway, that's all my baggage. So with that in mind, I'm just like, look, Leanne, you're an adult. I didn't say this to her because I'm like, I'm not going to overstep my boundaries. But I said to Zarin, I said, she's an adult. And unless she like starts like being really crazy like my parents were when they drank. And he's like, no, like we don't have a problem. It's just like, we just want her to come clean. I'm like, yeah, I have a few drinks, but she's embarrassed. And I don't know if it was because she was like, I don't know if she was married to him at the time. She did marry this guy who was Mormon. And Mormons, at least like straight-laced, traditional church-going, don't like anything with smoking, drinking, any of that stuff. And I'm not trying to speak ill of my family, like Zaren's mom. Like, they're not trashy people at all. She just became very... Oh, my shoes. She just became, over time, very, like... I don't know what the word to use. Oh, my God. His mom became a, like... What's the word? Despondent? I don't want to sound like too over dramatic, but she just became like this person who, maybe I'll say withdrawn. Like when it came to her kids, she did everything. Zarin needed something, April needed something, Nicole needed something, Xander needed something. Okay. She still had a friend, Tam. Hi, if you're out there watching. They would go out there and get drinks up there at the little bar at Davis Conference Center. That was it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that because I'm a person, I've known many people growing up, but I've kept a very small number of people in my personal life. I've retained. And it's not even a matter of me like, that makes me sound very snobbish. Like, oh, those other people weren't good enough, so I cut them loose. No, it's like, people come and go all the time. And I think there's even a saying about it. Like, you have people who are constant companions. You have people who are like May, December relationships or whatever, or fair weather. Like when the weather's nice, so wintertime you're not going to see them much, springtime, or maybe the opposite. I learned at a young age to not be... I think I still am kind of a hanger-on. I don't think I'm as clingy. In fact, I think my pendulum swung completely in the other direction. Like, if I see someone new, like a new tenant, a new coworker, obviously I would not have a new roommate unless I already agreed on it. Which, we would have sat down and had the interview and all that long before, so I would have had a good idea of their persona. But I might talk to those people and introduce myself, all that stuff, but I'm not going to I'm not going to be a Budinsky and be like, oh, this and that and blah, blah. You know what I mean? I hate that. Because I feel like people want to feel independent and that they're figuring things out for themselves, because it's a very exciting and rewarding feeling. Like, you feel very accomplished, Even something as simple as moving into your first apartment. You know, I mean, if you're an apartment renter, chances are you're going to be an apartment renter forever until you get a house, if you ever get a house. So your first place probably isn't going to be, you know, your last place, unless it's like super nice and affordable and you're not looking to move and there's literally nothing else available, you know. So even that's like a big thing. I don't like going and sticking my nose in and bothering people or presuming things. You know, like I said, people like to feel independent. They like to do things on their own. I've also I was desperate for like that big friend circle that you'd always see. When I got to a certain age, I was like, I don't know any of these fucking people. And I was like, I tried it. Not really for me. I'm glad that I at least tried it. You know, didn't have anything negative to say about these people. But being social, I have the gift of gab. I'm gregarious, as the Sims would say. But I assume a lot of myself and of people. That has prevented me from starting up relationships with people. And to go back to what I first mentioned, being clingy, I was that person. Oh my God, someone's paying me attention. They're my first and best friend ever. Well, the pendulum kind of swung around college. Kind of sort of in high school. But in college, I was, oh, it's a new school, a new setting. Someone was kind of like, really made me show how clingy and kind of desperate. Needless to say, that person ended up being way worse than I was at the time, and they're still trying to get back into my life, and I've completely cut them off. I do not want them in my life anymore. You know, I can be the nicest person on earth. I can be the nastiest person. I won't even be that. If you do me wrong, you're gone. I block you across social media. You're effectively dead to me. So I'm not even going to sit there and waste time sending negative energy. There's no point. It's not elementary school or middle school. It's no longer a contest of who has the biggest insult, who has the meanest nickname. No, I'm a fucking adult. If you're still acting like that, I don't need it. So I blocked her. Thought I had her blocked her before. Blocked her again. Because she wouldn't send me messages, but she would try friendsing me. I guess the anniversary of the date that I told her my boundaries, and because she kept love bombing me. And I told her many times, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I like my friendship, my companionship with you as it is. I'm not interested. I don't need all these like weird, like, I don't know how to describe it. Just these weird love bombing comments that make me out to feel like they're describing someone else. That just made me, like, if I start to feel weird, like I'm having an out-of-body experience, or I feel gross, icky inside when you're doing something or saying something to me, I put a stop to that. So I'm like, you're making me feel weird, and I translate that as feeling harmed. Are they still open? That's wild. Yeah, so I translate that as, you're making me feel weird. You're creeping me out. I don't want anything to do with that. Now, if you acknowledge that, it's hard to acknowledge, it's hard to accept, because we don't want to accept faults or flaws. A lot of people are really good with that. A lot of people really aren't. And you adhere to that, you agree, and you're like, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know it was making you feel uncomfortable. Cool, then we're cool. If you then retaliate because my listing my boundaries and asking you to stop doing what you're doing to me, I mean, it's like, I know for a fact these people, if I'm doing what they're doing to me to them, they'd hate it. But it's okay when they do it. So anyway, fuck her. But not really, because she's gross. She's blocked. I don't wish her ill intent. I don't wish her the best. I don't think about her. This is the first time I thought about her and mentioned her in ages. This person, unfortunately, because a result of her snapping out at me, caused me to realize my behavior as being too clingy, as being too much a hanger-on, and I swung pretty much completely in the opposite. I became Lone Wolf Squall again. This other persona in my mind, because it's based off of Squall from Final Fantasy VIII, because I thought we're pretty much the same age. When that game came out, I was 2 years younger than him. I was 15 when Final Fantasy VIII came out. He was 17. And I thought he was the coolest character, and it was brand new. It was a brand new Final Fantasy video game. If you want to talk, go talk to a wall or something. That was me. I became Lone Wolf Squall again, but within reason. I wasn't going to go out of my way to talk to people, because a lot of that ends in frustration or drama, very public drama, because especially at Weber State, there's a lot of drama queens. I'm not even talking about the theater kids. I like the Job Corps kids. I'm not trying to like paint everybody with the same brush strokes, but a lot of the Job Corps kids I was like, I wouldn't even say friendly with, because we rode the same bus, were, in my opinion, because I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist, we're very like emotionally disturbed. And oh look, another Christian cult sign. I'm not going to give them any attention to spread their propaganda message. I'm not even going to film it to mock it or mention the name. Anyway, unfortunately, she was the first person to witness Lone Wolf Squall coming back into me. I didn't cut her off, and people will interpret that, well, you ghosted her. No, I just became less clingy. I realized I'm not the social butterfly that I wanted to be for my parents' sake, because my parents wanted a perfect, typical 1980s high school teen or college teen who was on all the teams, who was on the student body, who was the student body president, who was dating the cheerleader, the female hetero cheerleader. Sorry on all accounts. And That just isn't me. And people, psychologists will probably go, well, that's you retreating into yourself. Yes, it is. I am not a social person. I can be social within limits. I'm not like some antisocial, like, recluse who only comes out to check the mail. I know people like that. You know, if I go to the store, I have no problems talking to someone, bullshitting about the weather or some product they never have that I want or whatever. I have no problems doing that. I have no problems doing that with neighbors. The thing is that I realized, and my parents were trying to turn me around. Well, you're always home on Friday and Saturday nights because all you do is retreat to your room. They would use this phrasing: retreat to your room and play video games. As an adult, I still enjoy video games. I still enjoy doing what I'm doing now, walking. And I kind of wouldn't really want anyone else out here doing this with me because it would take away from my narrative exposition that I'm trying to story tell here, that I'm trying to do that here. I don't have a problem. People have told me, you're unfriendly. They just don't get me. But they label me unfriendly, hateful, mean, antisocial. I can understand that stance. It's not that I'm withdrawn. I'm social to people who are around me all the fucking time. People that I see every day, or when I see them, I'll say, hi, how are you doing? Some weather we got, huh? Welcome to Utah. Whatever. Might be surface level talk, but I'm still talking. They're not going to go back into their retreat back in their home and say, well, he clearly doesn't have people skills. I have people skills. I just choose to use them when I feel like it's necessary. And because I'm not really a people person, because people stress me out and they wear me out. That's why I'm so hesitant to go back into in-person working on the job, because I know for a fact it'll either be a call center or retail, and those both will have me dealing with other humans directly and indirectly. I'm just not a people person. I'm not antisocial, I'm just not a people person. Like, I don't get stressed out and afraid and anxious around new, old, different people. I don't. That's social phobia, xenophobia, antisocial, whatever. I don't have that. I get kind of like, okay, I want to go home. I've lived dangerously for one day. And honestly, I think that's most people in the work world, or if you're going to school. By the end of the day, you want to go home. And that's completely normal and natural thing to feel. When your shift is over, you clock out, and when your schedule, your courses for the day are done, or periods of the day, high school, college. Okay, I guess we get to cross. Yeah, I became way less clingy. But people, you became retreated to yourself, you became withdrawn. That would be if I just never spoke to people ever, if I never ventured out of my room ever. Which, even when I did live at home, and my parents were the biggest critics of my lifestyle and my hobbies, being anime and video games, which to this day, they still give me shit over anime. The newest anime that I've seen that I like is Naruto. Part 1. And that fucking shit came out in like the 2000s in Japan. Came out in the late 2000s in America, like 2006, 2007. Had a 6-year... Japan had a 6-year head start before it got licensed and dubbed in North America. I've seen shows on Naruto, like Inuyasha. I do not actively collect those things. I do not actively... But my parents, I blame it on... I don't think... They never called me a weeaboo or a weeb. If they heard that, they wouldn't know what it is. If you explain it to them, they would go, oh yeah, that's him. Here's the thing. I have no intention or desire to go to Japan. If I won a trip to go, sure, cool. Make it like Tokyo or somewhere metropolitan that has stuff for me to do. And not rural Japan. I don't speak Japanese. I don't assume to know anything about their fucking culture like actual weeaboos who base everything they know from anime that they watch. Even people in Japan have a term for these people, but they're called otakus. In the US, they take that and they run with it. I remember like otaku club in high school. Why not just call it anime club? Or because back in the day they call it Japanime or Japanimation. Otaku is literally a slur against anime enjoyers in fucking Japan, anime and manga. The only manga I collect, Fullmetal Alchemist, Slam Dunk, Lupin the Third. I collected all of part 1 of Naruto. I was gonna collect Dragon Ball, and I'm like, and I'm not talking about Dragon Ball Z. I'm just talking about early Dragon Ball, before Raditz, before Vegeta, before Frieza, before the balls actually, Namek and all that shit. I like Dragon Ball, the anime. I don't like all anime. There's plenty of anime where I've seen it and I go, no, this isn't for me. This is not for me. Fullmetal Alchemist is a fucking masterpiece, and I'm talking about the 2003 one, and I'll die on this hill. The music was perfect. The plot wasn't really perfect. In hindsight, obviously, because it wasn't one for one with the manga, the original source, but I think it became its own thing, and it was good for it. Brotherhood, my friend who never read the manga, never watched the original series, but watched Brotherhood, collected the entirety of Brotherhood, and he says his opinion, well, Brotherhood's better because it's close, it matches the source material. And I laughed in his face, and I said, have you even read the source? I have. Yeah, 90% of the original anime is filler. It's good filler though, and it had a good follow-up movie. But no, I don't watch every and all anime. Like if it's like, oh, there's this anime on TV, I'll check it out, and it's something I've never heard of. Some obscure 80s anime, which by default of it being 80s, in my opinion, which I don't know if that kind of makes me a weeb or not. I assume it's going to be better just for the fact it came out in the 80s. Oh, when I was a kid, I watched Pokemon and Digimon. I didn't collect them. I didn't go out and... I may have been gifted things from the franchise, but I certainly didn't go out and say, oh, I want this. This is what I want. This Pikachu t-shirt. Oh, this, Charmander mug. No. I wanted things at the time which were kind of fancy, like the Resident Evil. I didn't play the games. I liked the figures, though. I probably had, if I still had all those figures, I only have one now. It's my 1997 Toy Biz, or 1998 Toy Biz Chris Redfield Resident Evil action figure. I don't have the dog that he came with, though, anymore. But, I never played the games. I watched my friends play them. And I thought they were cool. And I thought the figures were cool because we could play Resident Evil at each other's house without playing the games. We just play the figures. And, you know, that was fun because we would just make shit up. So if I had all those figures, so I'd probably have easily probably a $200 or $500 collection. And they were all out of the packages because I, you know, put them on display or replay with them. I'd probably have a $200, $500 collection. It pisses me off because I gave a lot of them away. Especially my William Birkin Tyrant. I went on my way to replace that shit because the fucking arm broke off on Christmas. I got it from Media Play. And that place doesn't exist anymore. And then we went out our way to go and replace that motherfucker. Found the receipt and everything. And that was Christmas of 99, I do believe. And I think that's also when I got Final Fantasy VIII. It was Christmas of 99. So I got a lot of cool shit for that Christmas. Resident Evil stuff. Final Fantasy stuff. And it pisses me off in hindsight that I was so desperate for people to like me, I would give stuff away and think, well... And also, my parents would have told me, too, you're getting too old to have those things. Now, adult me is like, no, fuck that, fuck them. Those cost money. They're expensive to replace. They're not going to appreciate them like you do. I'm still mad about my entire Star Wars collection I gave away. These two brothers of my mom's friends, her sons. They came back the next time after and told me, oh, we forgot them in our car and it was robbed and they were stolen. And I thought, why would you come and admit that to the person who selflessly gave you those? And like, I kind of, part of me felt like, and I was pissed because I'd been having regrets of doing that, of being way too giving with my possessions, that I was like, well, I don't need this anymore. I don't need that anymore. That was like the era of my teens, which I really regret, which was the Great Purge, I refer to. I purged myself of a lot of the things I really enjoyed collecting, such as Marvel memorabilia, action figures of any kind. Pretty much it. If I could go back in time and just slap the shit out of my younger self, I would. When they came back and told me that news, I was like, it made me feel like they kind of expected me to turn around and go, well, I got more I could give you. It's like, no, I went, oh, well. I said, that sucks. Too bad. I mean, why would you go back and tell the person? Unless because I felt like they wanted me to reimburse them. I'm like, no. You should have brought them in the house with you and kept them safe, and they didn't, so. But, yep. As an adult, I'm very, like, I write down everything. Every transaction I make a document. I have a document on my computer. And I need to back up, make a physical one. All the games I've sold or traded in. The Marvel Legends figures I've traded, sold. So that I don't go crazy trying to find things that don't exist. You know, because they were sold. Or whatever. They were traded in for something else. This store always looks empty. You never see anybody shopping there. I guess the people that live here probably do, though, because it's convenient. But you never see, like, for example, people in just down the street here in Clearfield, you would not see those people, like, pull up their car, get out, lock it, walk in. I mean, they'd probably just as soon go to Maverick, because they can also get gas and save money with their Maverick card, which is free, by the way. Or they go to Rancho Market, which used to be Macy's, which used to be Kent's. Or used to be Macy's and used to be Kent's. Either way. I've never been to Rancho, so I can't speak for their quality. But in that King store, like, it looks empty, save for the lone cashier behind the counter. I mean, it's a decent looking store. It's fully stocked, but it's fully stocked because no one's shopping there, and their prices are probably sky high because I think they're a foreign business competing with they can't afford to sell at a loss to compete with Maverick. Maverick's been around for a long time. They have customers just based on their their brand name. Same with 7-Eleven. Those 7-Elevens are all going the way of the Dodo. Across this way. And as far as 7-Eleven going, bye. Their service has been so shitty in 7-Eleven for the past several years. I mean, the one right on 5600 that they got rid of because it's 5600 project, I'm not surprised. Compared to the one on 1900, it was absolutely an underperforming store. It seems like they'd always hire stupid people to come work to, man the cash register and do the duties, the store routine. And it's like that one time I tried buying those gift cards, one Xbox gift card, one Amazon. It literally says on it the amount. The Amazon one, I told them, the Xbox one was 25. Or no, the Xbox one was 25. The Amazon one, it was one of those ones where you enter amount between 25 and 100. And I said, that one's going to be 50. And the guy's holding the cards, looking at the machine like he looked legitimately afraid. Like I had just asked him. Like I had asked him, sir, what's the meaning of life? And he's looking at the machine, looks at the cards, looks at the money, puts the money down, counts the money, looks at the screen, looks at the cards, I can't do this. And I said, what? I cannot do this for you. I said, you're joking, right? I said, did I not train you how to do that? You literally punch in the thing and it tells you. You scan it with the thing. It pops up for you. This one, you scan it, the Amazon, it asks you what amount to enter. You put 25.00 or 0025. In fact, it should come up with the options 25 to 100. You hit 25 or 50, however it was I said. Well, I can't do this. I cannot do this. And I was pissed. Because I had walked all the way from, this is when I still lived in Sunset. I didn't live in Roy yet. I was pissed. I thought, okay, motherfucker. I didn't say another thing. I got all my money, all my change, stuffed it in my pants pocket, left. I was pissed. So the next day, I went down to Clinton Walgreens. Little old lady. I bought the same old cards, and she had no problem scanning them in. It's almost like she wanted to do her job, or she was trained to do her job. Yeah, King's. That 7-Eleven 56 Center is a joke. Only idiots ever worked there. See, this isn't as foggy as my weather app implied it would be. It's like, no, it's like I can see a bit of fog, but even with all the, I can still see. I don't know if it's because it's well illuminated. I remember when, even with all the illumination here in Clinton, when Roy used to have lights like these, you couldn't hardly see down the street, because around January we get the new year, we get this heavy fog that likes to roll in. Cinder blocks. This is so weird. The people live up here. No, this is the wrong building. There's a building closer up to Layton where it's right before you get to the shopping center that has McDonald's, Arby's, Vasa Fitness. Also used to be where Shopco used to be. And there's this building kind of like this. It's not as big as that. It's like 2 stories. It's a brand new built building, and it looks like it would be like office suites in the bottom and then apartments at the top, but it looks like nobody's using it, but there's like at least one family living there at the top. And I just every time I see it, and I only see it when I ride the bus out that way, and this has been the last few months, because I when we started thrifting, like every Sunday, every other Sunday, and I see that building, I point out, I said to my friend, I was like, doesn't that look weird? Doesn't it look like nobody lives there? Because I forgot what used to be there, so I didn't know to think about it, to remember it. The Choi's, they have really good food. They got really good seafood, and I'm not even a seafood person. If they go out of business, this whole area is gonna fucking nosedive. That's the only thing worth going to and eating here anymore. There are no other restaurants. Rancho is not a restaurant. Baskin Robbins isn't a restaurant. It's a dessert ice cream parlor. There are no other restaurants. Pizza Hut's gone. All these places here are dancing, cheerleading academies, and little fly-by-night churches. So yeah. No new eateries. Even Roy's getting new places to eat. Not much, but you think Clearfield, the place is major and modern as Clearfield. They put up all these new buildings. No places to eat. No places to eat. And I do worry about things. People, my mom, when we ate there the last time, which is ages ago, I was like, I said, it's really gonna suck if this place just shuts down. Because it seems to me people don't buy it out and then keep it going, or take over for the people. It just shuts down. Either people in the family try it, or people who want to keep it going can't maintain the same level of, productivity. So their sales decline and nobody eats there. So they shut down anyway. I just remember saying, oh, it's gonna suck hard, big time, if they ever have to close, go out of business, you know. Like, Lucky China's closed. It got replaced not too long ago with Oku. I've never eaten at Oku. I really have no desire to eat there. I'm very picky with my foreign food where I like to eat now. As an adult, I become more picky than I have as a kid. Because food's fucking expensive now. And if we're going in there and splitting up food, you know, the money, which for a good meal, even for one person, is like $20. For one person. And if it ain't good, like, I don't want to eat here again, I probably won't eat there again. Walk around this way. Even when I became old enough to start working on my own and move out, I wasn't as picky. I wasn't stingy with my money. I would share, but I didn't spend it on everything. If I wanted to eat some, I would go grab some, take it home, and eat it. Or I would go out to eat with, you know, meet up with people, my cousins or a friend, whoever. Now it's like, if their food is dog shit, if it's not like Garcia's, for Garcia's, I think everything on the menu is probably good. Like, that's the only, like, local Mexican place that I go to. There's people out there, like, partying on their balcony, probably, and making their neighbors' dogs bark and freak out. But you can't see hardly any fog, and that's disappointing. Because the whole point of me coming out here was like, oh, it'll be like Silent Hill. It's already 12:12. Yeah, and I told him, oh, I'll be back way by a decent time. I probably won't even get home till like 2 o'clock now. Because it's already midnight. Granted, it's early midnight, but still. And all these cars that are just permanently parked here for whatever reason. I wonder if there's any ducks at the pond. They're throwing away a couch. Oh, how wonderful. Get my grandma out here. Oh, he'll love it. A free couch. A free used sofa. Okay, it looks like the water isn't completely frozen over. It's still rippling. Oh, and there are ducks. There are ducks out there. I can make out their little silhouettes. Fishing allowed east of this. Okay. I don't know why you'd want to fish in here. The water looks green and polluted. And I said before, there was an Italian restaurant that was down there years ago. It's probably fucking mafia owned. And they're probably hiding fucking bodies in that fucking pond. You should probably pull out a three-eyed fish like in The Simpsons. Oh my god. The problem is when I get an idea to go somewhere, I don't think it out. I just go. Where I thought, well, I need to go on a kind of big walk because I ate kind of like a pig for dinner tonight, and then throughout the day and the last few days. It's like when I don't think about eating, I'm fine, but when I'm like, oh, I could eat, and then I become fucking Miss Piggy. Oh, it's a phlebotomy place now. Pro Renter Property Management, Phlebotomy Training, Lavender Lush Cleaning, Ben Masonry, Fortress Property Management, Wasatch CFP, EMT Utah, Suite 108 blank. Are these open? Can you go in here and... That's old school. That hallway, all that. This place here was a Mexican portrait studio. Before that, I think this was the Italian restaurant where the mob people would go and fucking hide bodies out there. Now, I'm not stating that as fact. Just because they're Italian would not mean that they are associated with the mob by default. Well, somebody had a fucking Christmas party, and these assholes didn't fucking invite me. I like how they leave all their nasty shit in the public can, instead of wrapping it up in a big bag and driving it to a dumpster where it's actually going to get thrown out, because there's no property management garbage people that come here and clean rigorously or regularly. There is none, because this is not like, this isn't in a high density shopping area like it was in the 90s and the 80s. Hell, even in the 2000s, when they still had things to do here, it wasn't high density. And they still have garbage in these cans, these trash cans from probably almost 10 years back, probably. Because the people are probably told, hey, take your shit over to fucking the dumpster by Pizza Hut, or that dumpster over there that used to be Papa Murphy's, or the dumpster back there, because that gets dumped regularly. These cans do not. They don't. And that's a music shop now? Oh, that one's CNA training. I thought that used to be also CNA training. It's a music shop. I wonder if they're actually still a music shop. That's odd. I like owning physical. I mean, I'm learning that you need to have limits, but you can't really rely 100% on digital. You can't, because Apple, Amazon, Sony can decide, well, we're taking this off the market. Apple and Amazon have shown iTunes that they'll delete things from your library because it's no longer going to be, they're no longer hosting it or whatever. This place used to be the Otello Performance. Now it's a fucking church. That's another sign of retail apocalypse. Actually, I think that's beyond. I think this is post-apocalypse. When these churches move in, like New Hope Center. I'd first seen one here in the Layton Clearfield area, and then the other ones down there were, it's in the old Fun Days building. That's like a slap in the face. It used to be Fun Days. Now it's the opposite, the exact opposite of anything fun. It's fucking religious fundamentalism. I didn't know what it was, and I learned it was a church, and I'm like, oh, brother. Because I said tattoo parlors, pawn shops, and those Asian massage places are the 3 signs of retail apocalypse. There might be other ones, but those are like the most. Maybe a vape store could round it out to being the 4 horsemen of retail apocalypse, because vape stores don't ever seem to last. Those tattoo places, the Asian spa places, always move in to like the tail end of a failing mall or a failing strip mall or whatever. Those churches are like post-apocalyptic, because once all the other things have moved out, these churches with their tax-free status will come in and buy everything. They will get all of the suites and run their scam. Because religion should be free. It shouldn't cost anything, but they're making so much bank off of it. They'll ply their practice, their trade, their scam in all these little suites. This big whole building, because everyone else has ran off, not from the church. They had plenty of time, the city, to turn it around, to get new. But they're like, well, that's not our problem. That's the property owner's problem. Well, then, as you can see, that Clearfield shopping plaza Lakeside Shopping Plaza is post-apocalyptic, because it's literally like 1 or 2 little tumbling dance studios and the rest are churches. Literally. There's small things like CNA training. I think one of them is a rent-a-cop place, phlebotomy training. It's like, it's not a bustling place. If there was like the bowling alley, pizza joint there, if the small 2-screen theater were there, if there was like a bookstore there, if it was like a hustling, bustling place like Antelope Shopping, Woodland Drive on Antelope, okay, I could see the need for a custodian to be there every day, checking the cans, emptying them out. There's no need, because it's just long-term people who have classes there, or who are going to one of the many fake churches that have been set up there. Because they're fake churches. You could literally go to Ogden and join a real Christian or Catholic church or Mormon church in English or Spanish or Korean or whatever. These places open up. They're like cults. They prey on insecure people to get donations, to get money, and they're a tax exempt organization. It doesn't matter what they are. They could literally call themselves Servants of Baal, or the Dark Brotherhood, or Mythic Dawn, and they would still be tax exempt status, even though they would be obviously openly declaring themselves a cult. I don't know what religion elevation is. And the most easy religion that caters to everybody would be non-denominational, free-form Christianity, which means it's anything. Anything goes. And that's literally for people who are followers, not leaders. These people in the group find their members. The members don't find them. They recruit them. And they basically, I don't know if it's brainwashing, but they really do convince them that this is a great use of your time. Instead of like a depressed person who might need to get out more, be more sociable, meet new people, go on dates, they'll say, well, now you'll have things to do because you can volunteer your time at our center on weekends instead of having those sinful suicidal thoughts. I just think it's dog shit. It's dog shit. Taking advantage of, preying on people, This area here isn't even bustling. And it's a newer shopping complex because they are all 90% professional businesses. And this still hasn't been filled in. And it's been this way for going on 3 years. The city hasn't fucking fixed it. And they probably won't. Because it's not a... And it's right in front of a fucking bus stop, too. Because it's not a priority for the city. I'm so fucking done, though. I'm so fucking done. You know, I would kill to have a regular job here. In the City Hall building. In that one building down there in Roy. The bank office building. One of these buildings here. Just something to do. Someone's smoking marijuana. I can smell it. This whole fucking area. It's dead, but it's alive. It's like a form of necromancy. It's alive because of these apartments. But there's no shopping here. It's like the city doesn't know how to... They know how to put asses in seats, so to speak. They know how to, with developers, bring in permanent housing, you know, residency in the form of condos, apartments, whatever, townhomes. What I'm noticing, and it's not just Clearfield, it's Clinton, Roy, especially Sunset, neighbors with Clearfield, is they're struggling to bring in businesses. They're struggling because, look, don't you think if they had a Barnes & Noble here, if they had a McDonald's here, right here, the next one is still almost 2 miles away. Not quite, but almost, like a mile, mile and a half, quarter of a mile. If they had a McDonald's or a Burger King, anything that isn't nearby right there, a Del Taco, a Jack in the Box, that would immediately drive business up and revenue up in this area. The economy would go up. You can't have all these brand new fancy fucking buildings and houses, apartments, and not also have businesses catering to all the new blood, all the new people living here. They have none. Oh, they have a shitty Cuban or Argentine restaurant. I've never been there. I don't know if their food's good. You have a shitty, extremely lonely, and bored-looking King's convenience store. Pay all the inflated prices of convenient 7-Eleven shopping with none of the convenience. No gas. No hot and ready food. I've never seen anybody shopping in there. Ever. Put in a Del Taco somewhere. Put in a Jack in the Box somewhere. Boom. And people say, well, the Carl's and Taco down there. Yeah, because that's all the way down there. There aren't any new building clusters down there, though. And I'm sure people around here have to drive out of their way to go there. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the Lakeside Shopping Community Plaza. How do we revitalize that and get it booming again with people shopping there and eating there? Well, there's no restaurants there. So first order of business would be to get some fucking restaurants or even fast food. People would rather just drive by and will drive through and pick up their food and go than literally go in and dine in anyway. So there's no Del Taco here in Clearfield. There is a Taco Bell. There's no Del Taco. Lots of people like Del Taco over Taco Bell. There's no Jack in the Box out here. Why not that? It's not In and Out. Of course, if In and Out went in, forget about it. The street would become so busy. But the city needs to capitalize on all that revenue coming in and develop a plan to bring in new life to that area. It was booming in the 80s and I wasn't really out here in the 80s. The 90s, yes. The 2000s, yes. Early 2000s. Mid-late 2000s, not so much. 2010s, a little bit, again, not so much. In the 2010s, like late 2010s, 2015 onward to now, every so often, when I lived in Layton, I would walk down there, but it was already dead. Oh, Kings actually has a customer. They actually have a customer. Amazing. Because there's no shopping to do at Lakeside. Oh, honey, let's go to the CNA training center. Let's randomly get some blood tests at the phlebotomy thing. Have some trainee phlebotomists do it for us. I mean, it's just like it's fucking insane. I wonder how expensive because you have to figure these are apartments on top of garages and they look fucking tiny. I wonder if they're the same as those ones, but they're just facing differently. They look smaller to me. I wonder if those are the discount homes. They always talk about, affordable house, but people always freak out and think homeless are going to move in. Okay, affordable housing, not a homeless shelter. You think homeless people even have the fucking money, short-term or long-term, to fucking get approved on a background check to move in anywhere? I don't know why, but people's first thing that their mind goes to is, oh no, homeless will move in. It's low income. So you might get some people who have some drug habits. Rich people are some of the biggest drug users that I know. Like the whole idea of like poor, not poor, but poorer people who have to live in like shitty apartments, all being on drugs, is like it's like a rumor started by like, I don't know who. I think like the HOA, because they just don't want certain people moving in. They don't want them moving into their buildings. They don't want them moving into the neighborhood or the city if they can help it. Riding one of those like 1800s or 1900s style bicycles. Yeah, with the roads being all slick. Well, he's heading in the direction of the cemetery, so that's a perfect place to be if you kill yourself on your bike. And, oh, well, All we have to do is just inter him. Oh my god. And they're never going to do anything with this Trimart. People are like, oh, we want to put another convenience store there. I'm like, and not have any gas pumps either, right? That's like another new trend. Like King's and 7-Eleven started this trend by removing all their gas pumps for some reason, except for certain locations. I have no idea what spurred this change, because I would figure gas pumps would bring you more business, because people in cars will go, I really need gas, but I also need cigarettes and milk. And milk's expensive at 7-Eleven, but we can get all of it right there and go home. Well, now that almost all the one there in Roy don't have pumps anymore. And they never look busy anymore. They never look busy. People will still stop in there because they can get things on the way. I think a lot of people who get gas, like maybe at Harmon's or Walmart, because now they sell gas, just do that instead. Smith sells gas. They have been for 20 years or so. They would just do that instead of, going to a convenience store, paying convenience store prices, but you can't even get gas. You can't even fill your tank up. So, like, what's the point? What is the point? This little pawn shop here. If I got offered a job here, I'd take it. Because it's literally just right here in Clearfield. It's not too far out. It's not too far away. I could come in early. I could work late. I'm an older person, almost 41. So it's not like I'm some fucking young twat born yesterday who doesn't know anything. And for certain, it's like people, it's like, and that's another thing. I can be, just because I'm 40 doesn't mean I know everything. A lot of things I do know, but I have a lot of experience in retail and dealing with customers, in calming down customers, relating to them. There's a lot of young people who are just naturally gifted, and I've seen it where people 20 years younger than myself fly through the ranks. They become supervisors, they become managers, and then they decide that retail isn't for them. And I'm like, what? You're making so much more money. It was so stressful. I said, well, that's because you're a manager. If you're an hourly like I would be, it would be stressful, but not as bad as being a manager. But you would be making salary and you'd be making really good money. So, I feel like life has to give you a double-edged sword. Everything can't just be easy. At Walmart, you can be a manager without, you just have to get be referred by your current supervisor manager. And Target, I think you have to have at least an associate's or a bachelor's. I think it's an associate's. So you have to have at least a degree to be a manager at Target. And I'm like, you'd think that would make the people working there smarter. I think it just makes them vicious. It makes them bloodlusted, feral, vicious, out for blood. I've worked with a lot of good people at Target, but I've worked with a lot of people at Walmart, and yeah, this is going to come off as a shock. I worked with a lot of people at Walmart who were sympathetic and empathized. And at Target, it was like, I knew some managers that were cool. They were a manager, that mean they had a degree. So they were a smart, incredible person. But a lot of the managers at Target were dickheads. They had bad, stank-ass attitudes. Thought their shit didn't stink. And I wouldn't tolerate that today. I would tell them off if they pressed my last and final button. I would stop what I was doing, turn to face them, and tell them off in front of God and everyone, and say, "Listen here, motherfucker. You are mortal just as I am. You're a paid, salaried manager. You ain't Superman. You're not Zeus, the top of Mount Olympus. You're not certainly my deity that I pray to." But see, these managers, they act like they should be worshipped. And a lot of landlords act that way too. Like, I'm the lord of the land baron. I'm supposed to be catered to. It's like, no, motherfucker, we're your client. We're paying you for housing, for a service, for whatever. And it's like, in a lot of cases, quite frankly, you're failing to live up to your name. You're not a landlord, you're a slumlord. And for me personally, many such cases I witnessed. And I've dealt with people like that. And of course, they don't want to be called out on it and acknowledge the fact that they are scum of the earth, slumlords. But it's the truth. It is the truth, nonetheless.